Recently, Susan Sarandon sent an innocuous tweet, one that is meant to be productive and helpful to progressive causes, which is unsurprising, given that Susan Sarandon is incredibly progressive, and everybody's known this for a long time. And since she was progressive, she was for the more progressive candidate in the primaries and then in the general election. So none of this is surprising. So she wrote a tweet saying, "I stand with the dreamers who make our country stronger. Check out the thread below to see how you can defend DACA now." So she's trying to make sure that the Dreamers are not kicked out of the country. Okay, that seems great. No, not to some. For the Hillary Clinton supporters, they found this to be outrageous. So there was an article written by Brandy Amara Sky on BET with this headline: "Liberal celebrities who help elect Trump kindly shut the fuck up about DACA." Is that right? Was it Susan Sarandon who ran Hillary Clinton's campaign? She was the campaign manager. That's news to me, I didn't know that. Because was it Bernie Sanders who lost to Donald Trump? No, I mean it was Hillary Clinton, right? Maybe I'm getting it wrong, I'm not a journalist who works for BET or Daily Banter, etc. So maybe I'm getting confused here. But it's not just Susan Sarandon, they also went after Rosario Dawson. Here is somebody saying, Robin Stowe on Twitter going, "Rosario Dawson says Hillary Clinton is not a leader at a DNC event." Now that's just a tweet just mentioning that Rosario says that Hillary's not a leader in that. But in the BET article, Rosario Dawson's attacked. By the way, they're not the only ones. They also attacked Colin Kaepernick. They say, well, I mean, he was great for fighting for black rights by taking a knee during the national anthem, and but he said that he did not vote in the election, so he got an FU as well, and a middle finger in a tweet. Now here's another person on Team Hillary who's outraged that these celebrities were actually more progressive than them, but now they are pretending that these celebrities are less progressive. It's very confusing. I'll sort it out for you in a second, including Hillary Clinton quotes that you might find quite edifying. All right, so here we go to Molly Manglewood. She tweets, "Voting third party is a good way to let marginalized groups know that your abstract principles are more important than their very real lives." You know, there's another good way of letting people know that is by losing to Donald Trump. Okay, but anyway, we'll get to that in a second. So now I did not vote for a third party candidate, and I worked very hard against Hillary Clinton in the primaries because I thought she was an inferior candidate. I was 100% right about that, and all of the polling was on our side and against all these people who now say, "Oh my God, I can't believe we lost to Donald Trump." Well, that's because you ran a candidate that was clearly scientifically worse than Bernie Sanders. I don't think that's our fault, I think that's your fault. Now, whether somebody voted for a third party candidate or not is a nice excuse for Hillary Clinton, the person that you guys love who lost to Donald Trump. But it is a very poor excuse. I know, the weather wasn't right and Comey and Russia and all of that. Who ran the campaign? Who lost to a guy who was sitting at a 37% approval rating on the day of the election? God, you guys are pathetic, honestly. Danny Funero writes in, now attacking Rosario, among others, and Cornel West, here we go. "Oh yeah, trust me, I'm not forgetting you, Rosario Dawson, or you, Cornel West. They all contributed to what we have now, should be ashamed." Okay, so Cornel West fighting for civil rights his whole life doesn't count because he did not bow his head to the establishment candidate. Now, Cornel West said that the establishment candidate was a candidate who had a better chance of losing to Donald Trump and the Republicans, thereby endangering the Dreamers. He was right about that, but no. Now, Brother West, you are part of the elite. Now, wait a minute, he was for the more progressive guy. Nope, doesn't matter. But he was for the guy who had a much better chance of winning. According to every single poll, including on the day of the election, Bernie Sanders had a 12-point lead to Donald Trump, whereas Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump. Nope, I don't believe in polls, I don't believe in math, I don't believe in science, I don't believe in anything. I must protect the establishment while pretending that Susan Sarandon, Rosario Dawson, etc. are the elite. Okay, this is hilarious. So before I go further, I must clarify Hillary Clinton's position on this. So let's go to 2014, when Hillary Clinton spoke about this issue. Let's see what she had to say about kids who have come into the country and whether they should stay.
But we have to send a clear message. Just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child gets to stay. So we don't want to send a message that is contrary to our laws or will encourage more children to make that dangerous journey.
it looks like there was a candidate who was not for kids who had made it into the country, into America, staying. It was not just Donald Trump, it was Hillary Clinton. You're not allowed to say that about our beloved establishment, Hillary Clinton. Well, I didn't say it, she said it. Look, I want to be super fair here. I'm going to give you the full context of that conversation, okay? So later Hillary Clinton switched her position and said, oh yeah, DACA, Dreamers, yeah, I'm trying to win an election here. And she would say, well, I wasn't referring to the Dreamers, I was referring to people who were just coming in through the border, and we had a lot of folks coming in through the border in 2014 who would one day become potentially Dreamers. But anyway, give you the full context, here's the whole video.
There is not sufficient law enforcement or will on the part of the governments of those countries to try to deal with this exponential increase in violence, drug trafficking, the drug cartels, and many children are fleeing from that violence.
Should they be able to stay here? It's safer.
It may be safer, but that's not the answer. I do not.
So should they be sent back?
Well, first of all, we have to provide the best emergency care we can provide. We have children 5 and 6 years old who have come up from Central America. We need to do more to provide border security in southern Mexico.
They should be sent back now.
Well, they should be sent back as soon as it can be determined who responsible adults and their families are. But we have to send a clear message. Just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child gets to stay. So we don't want to send a message that is contrary to our laws or will encourage more children to make that dangerous journey.
Remind me who's for DACA and who's not for DACA. Who's for the Dreamers and who's not for the Dreamers. Now you're telling me because Susan Sarandon, Rosario Dawson, etc., said, hey, we don't necessarily trust Hillary Clinton to do the right thing here, because in the past, and not the distant past, that was 2014, she spoke out against children who came here being sent back. Are you for sending them back? Well, I mean, once we got a guardian in a country, yeah, we sent them back. Bernie Sanders didn't say that. Even Jill Stein didn't say that. Hillary Clinton said it. So do your homework first. But nonetheless, here goes Sky again. We're not just angry at you, she says to the celebrities. We're angry at all those people who didn't listen when we tried to tell them that the sky was falling, that all this was going to happen. But the difference is their Twitter feeds don't reach millions. Their words didn't make headlines and influence many of the millennials who opted to stay home on election day. They weren't nearly as effective in trying to convince the world a purity test mattered more than white supremacy. That was all you, boo. Well, Brandy, you supported the candidate that wound up losing the election. That was all you, boo. You wound up supporting a candidate that actually wanted to send the kids back. That was all you, boo. They supported a candidate who had an excellent chance of winning. And if he had won, not only would he have not done any of the things that Donald Trump has done, or potentially the things that Hillary Clinton would have done, but he would have gone further in helping those communities. And when he promised to help those communities more, Hillary Clinton now in her book writes about, oh, he wanted everybody to have a pony. So when you fought for Hillary Clinton, that was all you, boo. Bernie Sanders did not lose the election to Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton did. It is amazing that I have to remind people of that almost every day. We did a poll here, I don't want to repeat it here, but who's more responsible for losing the election? Because in Washington, among the elite and the establishment, they genuinely believe it's Bernie Sanders, which is so mental. Our poll has it at 97.4% Hillary Clinton lost the election, and 2.6% saying Bernie Sanders was the one who lost the election. I don't know who the 2.6% are, but you can go ahead and vote on it. It's tytnetwork.com/lost. But apparently we have to keep reminding these people. Okay, one last one from Brandy. She says, and the reality of your privilege is this: your delusion of sameness has cost us our bodies, our rights, and our security, while your own remains unscathed. Is this the solidarity, the power of the people of which you speak? Is this what you want us to rally behind, your false ideals and movement of disconnected privilege? So for fighting for the little guy, whether it's Sanders, who I did during the primaries. Now, I didn't vote for Stein, but I don't begrudge them voting for Stein. You see, because it is the responsibility, and I cautioned against it, and I didn't think that it was the right thing to do. But that was my opinion, and I don't hate them for voting for Stein, because Stein is not what cost Hillary Clinton the election. Hillary Clinton is the one who cost herself the election. So the much greater mistake was picking her in the primaries in the first place, and guess who was in favor of that? The elite. So don't go around pretending these guys who fought for more progressive candidates are somehow the elite and have their privilege. No, you backed the most pro-establishment status quo candidate of our lifetimes. So don't pretend you're not the elite. Don't pretend that the other guys are the elite when it's just not remotely true. Now, finally, we go to the Daily Banter, who is, if you remember my previous piece on them, there is not a Hillary Clinton thing that they will not get behind. There is not a Bernie or a progressive position they won't attack. So they're like, oh yes, let's jump in this. They asked, but what has Susan Sarandon done? Here's a couple of highlights since the election. She's refused to apologize for her previous remarks. Why won't you bow your head, Susan? Why do you continue to have progressive positions while we pretend to be more progressive than you, but said during the primaries you were too progressive? Well, Daily Banter's forte is not logic. And apparently she's also fought Deborah Messing on Twitter. I did not know that that was a grave offense. I don't know where Messing stands, but I didn't realize that was a thing that you can, now you mess with Deborah Messing. Remember, you guys are celebrities, but my celebrity, Deborah Messing, is awesome. It's funny how that works. And Katy Perry's awesome because she was behind Hillary Clinton. All my celebrities are great. You know what you guys sound like? Republicans. Ronald Reagan's awesome. Donald Trump is awesome. Ted Nugent is awesome. Oh, but you liberal elite celebrities, we hate celebrities. Unless there are celebrities. Hey, they did a concert for Hillary. I love them so much. Okay, Jeremy Fassler from the Daily Fluffer continues that Sarandon is preferring to spend her time retweeting sophists on Twitter and going to film festivals. You know why she's doing that? Because she's an actress. That's her job. Again, sounding like a Republican. What are these liberal guys doing? Going to film festivals? Yeah, that's called working for a living if you work in films. Okay, finally, one more from the Banter. Her statement on DACA is as empty as the ones Republican politicians make after mass shootings occur, and the same rebuttal to them applies to her. Ms. Sarandon, fuck your thoughts and prayers. Okay, I'm not your run-of-the-mill progressive that you're used to in Washington, D.C. that goes, oh my God, I am shocked and chagrined. Let's call for civility and unity, and of course that's a trick. The unity is unite behind Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. Otherwise, we'll blame you for all the things that Republicans have done. Oh, really? How have Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Hillary Clinton done in defeating Republicans? Oh, right, they have a miserable, miserable record. They lose to Republicans all the time. Why do you think we want to get rid of them? They have lost the House, the Senate, the White House to a monster, the Supreme Court, 69 out of 99 state legislators. But you keep telling me, Daily Banter and Sky and all these people who are still tweeting about Hillary Clinton and how awesome she is and how we should have bowed our head to her, that somehow the Democratic Party knows how to win? And that if we don't support the Democratic establishment, then we are responsible for what Republicans do? No, you're responsible for Donald Trump and the Republicans because your candidate, the one you backed, is the one that ran against him, is the one that lost to him. I don't want to keep repeating this stuff. I get tired of it too. But when they go out there and do their propaganda on 1,000 different outlets, who else is going to fight back? And then when we fight back, they go, oh yeah, you see that? There goes the Young Turks. And they keep talking about blaming Hillary Clinton for the loss. While you guys are blaming everyone else under the sun and using all of the mainstream media to do it. It's gross. So yes, we will fight back. And for your stupid idea to back the establishment candidate, then I return it right to you. I don't believe in civility or unity under your umbrella. So fuck your thoughts and prayers. Instead, we could have won. We could have protected the dreamers, but it was your fault that we didn't. Help us build independent media. Become a member of the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.